From simple theft, theft occurring in high street public locations in broad daylight, to more aggravated offences within that nature. We'd see them steal motorcycles almost to order. They were selective, they selected high-value motorcycles. They would then use those motorcycles to commit further crimes. What we would see is reconnaissance being conducted in and around the areas of Bristol and the surrounding regions. What we would see is that they would attend certain locations several times, sometimes even on a daily basis, identifying higher value motorcycles and indeed considering opportunities they had to steal other bikes to order. What we also saw is that they had absolutely no regard for members of the public that were largely heroic in their actions, that would try to prevent crimes happening, would try to intervene and try to prevent someone's property being stolen. What we saw is that they would resort to violence. What we saw is, reflected through some of these charges, is that they would use violence to aid their escape and continue to commit their crime. The biggest factor to this crime was the brazen attitude and the bravado that these three held online. They had various social media accounts where they would brag, and they were extremely arrogant about the nature of their offending. They would showcase the bikes they had stolen, they would showcase the crimes that they had committed. They were even as brazen enough as to define themselves as a repossession gang. They were, goading members of the public with the fact that even if they had secured their motorcycles, that they would still come after them and they would still steal them. We received a report to a certain location in relation to a further bike theft that had occurred. This particular report was quite aggravated. It involved a security guard at the particular point where these individuals had approached. The security guard had tried to intervene to prevent the theft of a motorcycle occurring. That individual, the security guard, had then been subject to a vicious and quite violent attack involving a screwdriver, whereby one of those offenders tried to stab them multiple times. They were subsequently, they made away from the scene. They didn't take the property on that particular occasion. What we also then saw is that we subsequently went out expeditiously and proactively and arrested the other individuals that we believed were involved in this crime.
The cuffs off the window, no, you just man right up. I didn't touch your hand. Yeah, you did, I didn't, I touched the cuffs. See? Yeah, don't I see? You bent it right in my hand. What? You might be used to dictating things in your life. You are not dictating what happens now. Oh my God. Okay? You're not my dad. Shut your mouth. I don't want to speak to you. Shut up.
From that, we conducted a number of searches. Those searches produced mobile phones, and it was through interrogation of those mobile phones that we were able to identify the severity and the volume of that offending. It was also that pivotal link, and it was a milestone in this particular case, because we knew that several bike thefts were occurring. What we didn't have is the link between each and every one, and indeed these three offenders. So there was a significant incident involving the exploitation, the kidnap and the false imprisonment of a 15-year-old child.
Right, Sonnie, you're under arrest for kidnap. You do not have to say anything that may harm your defence. Do not mention your own question.
Those responsible, Brandon Carter, Marshall Thomas and Sonnie Davies, took it upon themselves to kidnap a 15-year-old child, to hold them against their will, and to subsequently cause them significant harm, including subjecting this individual to a violent assault, namely stamping on the head and causing serious lacerations to their face. What was so aggravating about this particular offence for me was that they filmed this, they humiliated this individual, and they left them feeling extremely vulnerable for something that we believe they had no involvement in. This gang believed that this individual had stolen a bike that they had already stolen, to which we understand that they weren't involved in at all.
How long had you had that phone?
No comment.
Did anyone else use that phone ever?
No comment.
Is there anything on that phone that you didn't put there?
No comment.
That stolen bike is subsequently driven at speeds and dangerously sort of back to Hartcliffe. We know that because I think you've videoed yourself riding it down Hartcliffe Way, and it's at sort of dangerous speeds, going straight over a roundabout, that sort of thing. Is that you in the footage?
No comment.
Are you good with motorcycle mechanics?
No comment.
Can you hotwire a motorbike?
No comment.
What do you know about this incident?
No comment.
Tell me what you were doing on the 30th of July.
No comment.
Tell me about the kidnapping.
No comment.
I'm extremely thankful of the team that has dedicated themselves to this for several hundred hours in order to deliver justice to the victims to which they deserve. I think my biggest reflection is the brazen attitude, the bold nature and the arrogance to which these individuals have believed that they were beyond the law and to which they believed they would not get caught. I think for me it shows the significant impact that the community can have in situations of this nature and the difference and the true difference that they can make. Thank you to the dedicated team of police resourcing, our neighbourhood tasking team, our neighbourhood policing team, our regional organised crime unit and many others that have really dedicated their time, their resources and their skills and expertise to ensuring that we deliver true and meaningful impact in this particular area.